Volson joins the Tan fam. She's here to talk with me about season 2 of her show Gutsy, where she talks to some of the world's boldest and bravest women. Then a New York Times article recently revealed that more single women are buying homes than single men. We meet the women who say it's creating a dating imbalance. On the next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m.
Sarah, you've got this, okay? But they lost.
Not really. Not where it counts.
You're watching WDAY Extra. Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something. Is
Hot Mic. Hot Mic. On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo. Dom Izzo.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. A little bit gloomy outside today, but my unpopular opinion is I prefer, little switch up. We're all over the place this morning. I like it when it's gloomy outside to start the day. Not gonna lie. A little bit cozy to start the day. Yes, this voice is not Dom Izzo. I know. Who's letting this guy take so many vacations? Now he has another week off. So you guys are stuck with me again. I missed you guys. I hope you all missed me. It's been a long, 4 days that we've been apart. But now we're back together. I'm so excited. Yes, Dom is on vacation again. Well-deserved vacation. I was just joking. So I'm filling in for him until Monday, which is exciting. And then he'll be back for a 4th of July special. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Logan Campbell. I'm a reporter here at WDAY. Thank you for watching Hot Mic wherever you may be watching it, whether that's WDAY Extra, Inform.com, or KSFL. Guys, I have some breaking news for myself. I know that I've said time and time again, it's not that exciting. It's not that exciting. But I know that I always just talk poorly about golf and how much I don't like golf. But after this weekend, we are turning a new leaf, and I am starting to like golf. Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. I had the best time over the weekend covering the Red River Amateur at Moorhead Country Club. It was so fun. So much fun. So my role this weekend, and I'm glad that they put me here because this was the perfect role for me, I think. At this tournament, they created this thing. It's called the Alley. And what it is, it's this space between the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th hole. So it's like 11th is here, 12th is here, 13th here, 14th here. It's like this big, party section is what we can call it. They were grilling hot dogs, cheeseburgers, brats. And we also just got more breaking news. Sorry, I was reading an email. And serving drinks. It was so fun. And all the golfers had to come through. They would hang out for a little bit. There was this huge monitor. And it was airing our coverage while it was going on. It was so cool. They said they wanted to get Chris Howell. He's the video board, whatever it's called. Words are hard. Chris Howell, he's the head pro at Moorhead Country Club, said that they wanted to get a waste management type feel. And at times, it was like that. And it was so fun. All the golfers were getting drinks on their way through, like making jokes, stopping and watching themselves on the coverage, which is so funny because they can hear Dom and other people talk about them while they're golfing. And they said it makes it, there's more pressure when that happens. And they were just like, oh my gosh, like we need to turn that down a little bit. Like that just makes it so much more intimidating. But I had so much fun. And I was able to interview golfers. I was able to eat a bratwurst on hot dog. Am I okay? I was able to eat a bratwurst on TV, which was so fun. With Scott. He's the tournament chairman for that. And it was just so fun. And when I was talking with the golfers, they were all so nice, so happy to be interviewed. And let me tell you, NDSU Golf has some huge personalities on that team. The interviews some of them were kind of wild, and I loved it. Loved it. So hopefully we can do it again next year. And now I'm going to start watching golf. I want to start learning golf. People offer to give me lessons. Might have to take them up on it. And my golf journey is going to start today. Not today, but probably this weekend. And watch me become a professional golfer. That'd be pretty cool. All right, enough about the golf rant. Some news that broke yesterday, and this is with football. Like I said, it's the off season, and I said this last week all the time. It might be the off season, but football never ends. Football news is never going to stop. Yesterday, it came out that the NCAA Council is going to take action on proposal to seed FCS playoffs through top 16, which is huge. Huge. That vote is expected to happen today. And we're hearing it's likely going to get approved. That news will come out later today. But the current playoff model for FCS football is to see the top 8 teams who all get a bye, and the other 16 play first-round games at a site that is determined through a host bid. I don't know if you guys remember this last year, but there was a huge debate with UND and Weber State. UND put up bid more money than Weber State, but Weber State still got the home game because the FCS thought that they were the better unseeded team. So UND had to travel super far to play. And they had a first round exit. We all know that UND plays extremely well in the Alaris, so having that home field advantage would have been a game changer for them. So now, with a playoff field of 24, this would in theory take away more of regional matchups. I know each year we always see the Missouri Valley teams put up against each other, but with this new model, it'll make it more of a national tournament, more national matchups, which includes more travel, which is why they haven't done it before, because it costs more. So it'll go from 24 teams to 32 teams. And Jeff Kolpak was able to talk to NDSU athletic director Matt Larson, and he says that he thinks that this is the right move and it's a move that should be made. If this is to get approved, we're hearing that they would like to get these changes implemented into 2023. Who knows if that's going to happen? But it's all going to depend on budget and finances. What do you guys think about this? I think that this is a good move. I think it's a move that the FCS should absolutely make because, like we've been saying, I've been saying it. Dom's been saying it. McFeely's been saying it. Kolpack's been saying it. The FCS just needs to make moves to make everyone more excited about the football that's being played at this level. So, again, I think that this is something that we're going to find out more about later today is what we're hearing. They're going to vote and make a decision. So once that happens, we will be sure to update you. And I think it'll be good for the Missouri Valley because there's so many great teams in that conference, and the majority of them get eliminated after this first round because they are put up against each other. So I think it'll make the playoffs overall just more competitive. Expanding it to 32 teams and not doing these regional matchups. That's just my 2 cents. I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, I'd love to get you guys involved in the show. Feel free to email me, tweet at me, ask any questions for me and the guests that we have. We have a great lineup today. Cordell Volson is back in North Dakota. I was able to take a trip last Friday to go and see him, and he put on a camp, his first camp. So we'll talk a little bit about how that went for him. It was a really fun day, a rainy day out in Harvey, North Dakota. I'll share a little bit more about that coming up after the break, but it was such a fun time. It's Wednesday, which means Dick Bremer will join us on the show as always to talk about the Twins. Yikes. Sorry to all the Twins fans out there. But to be fair, I'm a Nats fan, and I'm in the same boat as y'all. So actually, you guys are in a better position than I am. You're at least still winning your division, even though now you're only half a game ahead of Cleveland. But we're going to talk about some of the pitching. Hitting has been a constant issue, and I feel like we're beating that like a dead horse, but it has to be talked about. Lots of injuries happening with the bullpen for the Twins, so it'll be interesting to see what moves will be made there. And then the NDSU football 2024 commits keep rolling in. Taylen Eady committed yesterday, and that last name might sound a little bit familiar to all of you NDSU fans. And that's because his brother Tyree used to play basketball for NDSU. He was on the team with Sam Griesel, Rocky Cruiser, and he was part of the big three, as I guess is how we would identify those three guys on that team. He's from Williamsburg, Virginia, my neck of the woods, except not really. I'm from Northern Virginia. Williamsburg is about 3.5 hours south. But it's Dom Izzo talked to him yesterday. We're going to air that interview later today. And he's really well-spoken. He's really excited to come here and play at a school where his brother played at. It's a great interview, so I'm excited to share that with you guys. But some big news tonight is that, we can talk about him. Yeah. So yeah, he's from Virginia. He actually played hockey too. And he decided, okay, football is probably the one that I should pursue. He said hockey was a little bit too tiring for him. But he's a safety for, he played safety in high school. Dom's got all the details on that. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Again, really excited to share that interview with you guys. Tonight, though, the NHL draft is happening in Nashville. I said it once, and I've been in Nashville once for the NFL draft. Such a great town. Such a great city. NDSU fans, you guys are going to tear it up when you guys go there. Is it 2025 you guys go there? I believe. 2025. So that's going to be such a fun weekend for you guys. But yeah, the draft is today. Wild are drafting 21st overall in the first round. The Blackhawks are first. Connor Bedard is expected to go first overall. We've known that for months now. My Capitals are going 8th. They need help. They need a lot of help. Ovechkin can't do it all. So I'm excited to see who Washington's going to draft. It's projected that the Wild are going to select David Edstrom from Sweden. He's a 6'3" center. He had 5 goals and 8 points in 7 games. And he plays in Sweden's U20 league. You guys think he's going to get drafted? I think he will. Also, last night coming out was the Wild's schedule. So they opened up the season against the Florida Panthers. That's a little bit of a tough team to open up the season against. We're just in the Stanley Cup Finals. Did not do too hot against Las Vegas, but they looked pretty darn good during the rest of the playoffs. But that's a little bit of a tough start to the season. But they start at home. Their first road game is Saturday, October 15th. Oh, and the season starts for the Wild October 12th. That's a Thursday. That's going to be here before we know it, which is so crazy. 2023 is flying by. But anyways, to start the season on the road, Saturday, October 14th at Toronto. Their longest homestand is 6 games from March 23rd to April 6th. A day after my birthday. March 22nd is my birthday. And then they'll have a 5-game road trip from April 7th to the 15th. Now, if you're looking at this schedule, you'll see a game that's in yellow and blue. And I think that this is so sick. But they're going to play those 2 games against Ottawa and then Toronto. So there'll be the away team against Ottawa and the home team against Toronto. That's Saturday, November 18th and the 19th. Those 2 games are played in Sweden, in Stockholm, which I think is so cool. And it's at the Vici Arena in Stockholm at 10 a.m. and 7 a.m. R.I.P. Avicii. Great music. If you don't know who that is, you should definitely listen to his music. And the Wild will wrap up their season April 18th against Seattle. Is that one home or away? Away. I was going to say Will Borgen homecoming, but it's away. Just kidding. But yeah, that's exciting that we're already talking about hockey. And it's June. Almost July. I feel like when I was on the show last, I was saying how it's crazy that it's June. But this weekend is literally July. So crazy. All right, we're going to take our break. When we come back, I got a fun little story for you guys. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra, KSFL, and Inforum.com.
I'm nervous sitting right here doing a TV show.
On.
Yes, and it's okay.
Start your engines for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's hitting the gas on a children's book and cooking.
It's very much like getting a race car ready to go to the racetrack.
Then, a speedy way to stuffed cake with Chef Millie Peartree.
It's so clever.
Plus, a turbocharged tray bake.
People love these because it's easy cleanup.
Mixed Rachel.
Weekdays at 3 on WDAY.
Our job as community journalists is, more important now than ever. Without news, the community is not informed of the facts. They might be informed on social media, but they're not informed with the facts. Because community journalism keeps our government honest. It keeps decision makers honest. Covering our communities, covering the events going on in these towns, they're important. So, yeah, my work's not done.
You want a home, but they deny you because you're LGBTQ or because of your race or the obstacles you face? Deny you a lender because of your gender? Housing discrimination has no place in our nation.
Know your rights. Go to HUD.gov/fair housing.
Sometimes we hope a problem will just go away.
But some things need attention before reaching the breaking point. You don't have to face these problems alone. Visit boystown.org/parenting for any age, any stage. Boys Town.
Together, we are all healthier when everyone is vaccinated. Let's get together. Let's thrive together. Talk with your pediatrician today about COVID-19 vaccination. This message is brought to you by the American Academy of Pediatrics.
Hi, I'm Shaka Khan, and I feel for you and your health. Black Americans are at a higher risk for diabetes, but we're less likely to get the latest technology to manage this dangerous disease. It's called CGM, Continuous Glucose Monitoring. Instead of a painful finger stick to check your blood sugar, you wear a small device that can give you glucose readings at any time. If you have diabetes, find out if CGM is right for you.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, smile big and bright.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is able to make an everyday miracle happen for kids like me.
Because of you.
We are happy and we know it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please go to loveshriners.org right away.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day we encounter people who are having the worst day of their entire lives.
Does it get any easier?
Nope.
It takes a certain kind of person to run towards danger rather than run away from it.
Why is this job so important to you?
Growing up, I never saw any heroes who looked like me.
And that's what a hero looks like.
Help is on the way.
Sundays at 8 p.m.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you all are having a great start to your Wednesday morning. And I know it sounded... Mom, I know you're watching. Please stop texting me during this. It's distracting me. Hi, Mom. Thanks for watching. She's watching from Virginia. Appreciate it. Anyways, I know that I said during the beginning of the show that there was breaking news and I was reading this email. NDSU football has now named their voice of the Bison for the radio side, which is exciting. His name is Sam Niederman. And his voice sounds very familiar. I know that a lot of you probably have heard it before. He will officially join NDSU on July 24th, and he'll do play-by-play for the radio side, for football and men's basketball. And he will also do a 1-hour coaches show for radio and television. So just a little bit on his background. He has play-by-play experience for Westwood One, which is a radio company. They do a lot of sporting events. They were at the College World Series. They do the Super Bowl playoffs, ESPN college football playoffs, basketball playoffs. So he has radio experience. He actually called games for ESPN. He did it for South Dakota State actually last year. And he also called games for Ohio State and Michigan and Alabama and Tennessee college football playoffs. So congratulations to him. He'll get here July 24th. I'm excited to get to know him and get to meet him. So that's exciting that they have named their new voice. So now you guys can go ahead and look him up and get to know him a little bit before he gets here. I'm sure we'll have more breaking news later today, but we already got breaking news to start today. Okay, so when I before we pitched a break, I said that I had a little story to tell you. And like I said, I went out to Harvey, North Dakota Friday. I've never been to Harvey. I've been to a lot of the smaller cities on the eastern side of the state. I've been to Bismarck. I've been to Minot. But I haven't really been to the smaller towns on the western, central side of the state. So I was able to go to Harvey and spend the day with Cordell at his camp. And it was so fun getting to see those kids with the smiles on their face. They were so excited to learn from him because, as you all know, he was such a great player here at NDSU, continuing to find success at Cincinnati. He had his brother there, Tanner, who also played here at NDSU and had a little stint with the Giants. Spencer Wagey, who also played here, now plays for the 49ers, came back to help out Jake Kubis, Cam Miller, who are an offensive lineman and the quarterback here at NDSU. Currently also took time to spend the weekend up there. So it was all fun getting to see them all get back together. But it was pouring rain the whole time, the whole entire time. The kids absolutely loved it. So it was so funny because it was the Harvey coaching staff and some of the other Central Dakota high school coaches were there, helping coach. And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, this rain, it's miserable." Like, but this is football weather. The kids were loving it. They were like, "I wish it was raining harder. I wish it was pouring rain and it was even muddier." I almost slipped and fell in the mud so many times. I trashed my white shoes. They're so muddy. I need to bleach them and clean them. I've never done that with shoes before, so that's going to be a disaster, but that's a story for another time. But it was a lot of fun. With that being said, though, so we were outside for pretty much the whole day, just getting absolutely drenched. My phone got some water damage, and it died. And I don't know if you guys have this problem with your phone, but when I tried plugging it in, it said cannot charge phone. There's water in the charging part, this part right here. So it wouldn't actually charge. It said, please disconnect and let it dry before you plug in again. So I was like, oh my gosh, this was like 6 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock at night. And I was like, I'm 3.5 hours away. I need to get home because I had to do golf tournament coverage super early the next morning. And I was like, I need to figure out how to get from Harvey, North Dakota back to Fargo. I started panicking. I was sitting in the car and I was like, I can't just sit here and just wait. Like, that's embarrassing to just be sitting in my car. It's like I'm like stalking them. So I was like, here we go. We're going to just start driving and hopefully we can figure it out. Guys, I don't know if I have a photographic memory when it comes to geography or maps, but I felt like a pilgrim and I was able to find my way back home with no maps. I was so proud of myself. I literally knew which turns to take. Thank you. I knew which turns to take. I was like, I've seen this before. Okay, we're trending in the right direction. We're in the right direction. I got to Carrington. I was like, okay, this is good. This is where I'm supposed to be at. And the best part is, in the car that I took, the charger port doesn't work. So even when my phone did dry, it still wouldn't charge because it couldn't, it was so glitchy. But I made it back in one piece. And I've never been more proud of myself in that moment. The fact that I have a photographic memory when it comes to maps, pretty cool. But we had so much fun that day. Cordell is just such a fun personality. He's a little goofball. And he decided to take my microphone and interview his friends. Take a listen.
Ready on me?
On you.
Check, mic check, mic check.
You're good to go.
Mic check, mic's here. All right, Cordell Volson reporting live from the Cordell Volson Central Dakota camp here in Harvey, North Dakota. I am joined by Jake Kubis, right guard for the NDSU Bison. Spencer Wagey here, phenomenal player at North Dakota State University. Now he's with the 49ers. And Michael Beto, when you needed a stop on 4th and 1, 3rd and inches, you brought in the big diesel, Michael Beto. Michael, just talk to me about your interactions today with the kids. You know, how was it?
It was absolutely amazing. It was an awesome operation here in Harvey, North Dakota, and we're just so thankful to have such a great, with Coach Doctor, Cordell Volson, the whole crew has been absolutely amazing. So it's been awesome. Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah, you know, Jake, you got here a little late. You were getting that work with Coach Bremer this morning, but you know, so you kind of got to see once things were rolling. It was a little chaos here at first, getting everything organized. But you know, what are your thoughts? And you know, we appreciate you being out here. So what are your thoughts about the day so far?
It's been awesome. A lot of great energy out of the kids. Great juice from the coaches, getting these kids fired up and getting better. Got here a little late, pumping iron with Coach Kramer in the Iron Jungle, but I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I'm able to give back to the home state.
Hey, just so everyone knows, rent is always due in the Iron Jungle.
Oh, that's all right.
Spence.
What? So what brought you out here?
She's not going to be able to use any of this.
I should just leave after this.
She can like cut out stuff.
I get it.
She'll edit it.
Yeah.
It'll look good.
I'll make you guys look good. That's what I always do, right?
Yeah, it takes a lot too. Spence, you know, just finishing up OTAs with the Niners and making the trip out here to Harvey, North Dakota. We really appreciate it. And you know, what makes you want to come out to events like this and give back to the youth? And you know, what do you get out of this as well?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously when I was younger, like I looked forward to things like this, you know, coming to camps, learning, seeing just guys, even if they weren't NFL, just college, high school, whatever, just older guys doing this. Like I just thought it was such a cool thing. So, you know, you and me being good buddies from our days in Fargo, and just want to be able to give back to you and just kind of give back to the youth.
Perfect. I appreciate you guys for being here. You know, I couldn't do this without all of you guys. And go get some lunch.
Wow, it got so serious. Such a fun group, and it was such a fun day for everyone involved. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Cordell Volson will join us. We'll talk a little bit about the camp, what his offseason has been like heading into year 2 with the Cincinnati Bengals.
On our next show, it's a Tamron Hall show first. Hillary Clinton joins the Tam fam. She's here to talk with me about season 2 of her show Gutsy, where she talks to some of the world's boldest and bravest women. Then a New York Times article recently revealed that more single women are buying homes than single men. We meet the women who say it's creating a dating imbalance. On the next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m.
Attention North Dakota veterans. Did you know there is free transportation provided to veterans highly rural for your medical appointments? This service is at no cost to you and available in several highly rural counties throughout the state. Contact your county or tribal veteran service officer for further information. North Dakota Veterans Affairs, proudly serving veterans from around the state with additional resources. This message is sponsored by the Department of Veteran Affairs and aired in cooperation by the North Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. Oh, there's so much they hold.
It's hard to imagine that this powerful, beautiful animal needs our help. But they are being killed for their skin and bones, and their homes are being destroyed. But there is hope. Tigers are at the heart of so many delicate ecosystems. When you protect a tiger, you also protect thousands of species and people that rely on the same habitat. That means protecting everything from mangroves that help fight climate change to safeguarding rivers and streams that provide fresh water to millions. All places that the tiger calls home.
Well, I won't give up. God knows I'm tough. He knows we got a lot to learn.
When we protect tigers, we all benefit. Learn how you can make a difference. Visit worldwildlife.org/tigers.
What if there was a place where every kid got a chance to be great? There is a place.
and there's no other place like it. It's my school, Milton Hershey School. Our founders were Milton Hershey, the famous chocolate maker, and his wife Catherine. They wanted to help children who didn't have much, to create a place that was safe. The Hersheys believe learning shouldn't have a price, so we don't pay anything to go to school here. Everything we need is taken care of, even a place to live with other students our age, with caring house parents to watch over us. In our homes, we learn to accept and appreciate one another, because the things that make us different bring us together. Our classrooms, they have no walls. We learn by doing, through programs that give us an early start on college and our careers. You see, we're more than a school. We're a community. We change lives. I know, because this place changed mine. Milton Hershey once said that if he could provide for 100 kids, it would be worth it. But look at us now, more than a century of memories. And there's still more good to do. Because here, we have the chance to be great. And you can be next.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hot Mic. I'm so excited for this next guest. He's always such a fun time to talk to. He had a lot of exciting stuff happening for him recently. Cordell Volson now joins me on the show.
Hi, Logan. How are you?
Good. How are you, Cordell?
I am great. Yeah, it's exciting times.
Back at home, how does it feel?
It feels good. It feels really good. Just get to relax here a little bit. Got a workout in this morning with my little brother at the school and on our high school football field. So that's cool. Just cool memories we're making, and do that here for about a week yet, and then I'll head to Minneapolis to start training there.
When do you go to Minneapolis?
Well, so I'll leave here like the 5th and go to Fargo for a couple days. Zach Kubis is getting married on Saturday, so go to that, and then from there go straight to Minneapolis on Sunday.
Exciting! I feel like so many people are getting married recently, which is so cool.
So many things.
Yeah. So when I came up to Harvey for your camp, actually, we'll just talk about your camp first. Tell us a little bit about that and what this past weekend was like for you.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable experience. Like it's one of the coolest things that I've ever been a part of. All of our coaches have reached out to me pretty much and just, talked about thanking me for the opportunity and all that stuff, but really thankful for those guys to give up 2 days of their summer to come and help out and put on a great camp. I think everyone had a ton of fun and was able to walk away with some more knowledge of the game. We had over 400 kids, and it was unbelievable. Just really, you don't understand, how special it is until you do it. It was really touching, and just how many of those kids look up to me and, just make me want to continue to be a good role model and to set a good example for them.
400 kids. That is so many. And you told me that there's people from Arizona, Montana, Minneapolis that came all the way to Central North Dakota for your camp. When you hear kids tell you that, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, how in the heck did they even find out about it, But really, really fortunate to just have such a great person to team up with in Brett, and just such great coaches that came and like I said, gave up 2 weekends in the summer. That takes a lot, and I'm really thankful for them, and all of them want to come back next year. So really excited about that.
Yeah, you had former and current players come back. What made you want to get former Bison involved in your camp?
Yeah, I think that just it's cool to have a little bit of a reunion, just to have guys that you've played with before and have a weekend together. But, Luke Bacon, being a local kid and going and playing at NDSU, that was really important to have him there. Because the whole goal was to show small town North Dakota kids, it doesn't matter where you're from. That's what I'm really passionate about, is giving them opportunities and showing them that it doesn't matter where you're from, you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. So to have him there and a guy that went on and started at NDSU and had a great career there, to have him there help coaching was awesome. We had a bunch of other local guys that I played with or around my age in high school that went on and played NAIA Division II, stuff like that were there coaching, that are now current coaches, at high schools. And then just some current players that, are really, really close to me, guys that, I'm really, really good friends with, and to have them give up a couple of days, was awesome, because I know how Coach Kramer's been getting on them. So to have them come and make the trip was awesome. And then Mike and Spence and was roommates with those guys. So they're awesome. Mike being a college coach now, it was cool to have him and just hear, things that he's seen at the camps he's been at. He's been on the camp circuit here for the last month and a half. So just hearing, better things we can do to help improve our camp, from someone that's seen a lot of them has been really rewarding. And, we want to do it bigger and better next year.
The way that Mike was coaching the kids was so cool to see. Even all of you guys. I mean, I feel like I learned how to coach these kids up from him, even just by watching. I thought that was pretty cool.
He's an unbelievable football coach. I love it. I love to watch him. He loves what he does. And I think that was really cool, because everyone there loves football, and whether it's coaching or playing, just being a part of the game, you're really passionate about it, and everyone there was, and that was really cool to see their passion, overflow. We joked about it Saturday morning in our coaches meeting. We're like, whatever we got, your voices are going to hurt. It's you're probably tired from yesterday. It's going to rain all day. We got to give every ounce that we have to these kids. And the coaches all did that. And it was really cool to see.
I was sharing a little bit about how it was just pouring rain the entire day Friday. I'm assuming it was the same Saturday. What was that?
Worse Saturday.
Worse? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, the middle session, I mean, it poured for 2 straight hours on the middle session. I stood there, I felt bad, me and Cam and Bo Belquist from UND and Spence, we all stood there just in this pouring rain taking pictures with kids. It was cool. I mean, I appreciate those guys for doing that. And the kids were head over heels, just so excited, and it was awesome.
Something that I noticed is that you guys, all of you, took the time to talk with all the kids, sign autographs for the kids, take pictures. Why was that important to you? And and I got to say, guys, Cordell literally would ask every kid where they were from, and then Cordell would try and guess the mascot of the school they were from.
It wasn't a guess. No.
You knew most of them, or all of them, I feel like.
I think I knew all of them, except for some out-of-state ones I needed a little help on. But, no, I think it's just cool because, I don't know. I think it's, everyone always, the old movie quote, "Don't meet your heroes, kids," and it's like, I don't want that to be true. I want them to, have a better impression of me after they've actually met me than they had before, just to have a really positive influence on their lives. And you never know what that kid's going through or what his home life is or any of that stuff. So if we could just take a little time and make them feel special, that was what matters. I mean, shoot, I just think about when I was that age, if I had a NFL player know that I was a Raider, that would have been pretty cool, so just to give that back to those kids is really cool. And I hope that they have a great memory. That's what Mike Beto called me yesterday, and he just told me, he's like, dude, those kids, man, like if one of them makes it to the NFL, he's going to be like, it was because of Cordell, and I'm like, Mike, come on now. And he's like, no, dude, it was really that you had that big of an influence on him. And, I mean, I don't believe Mike, because I wouldn't take credit for any of it, but, if and when someone goes and plays at the highest level, it's going to be really special, and hopefully we had a small impact on him chasing his goals.
I mean, how cool would that be for you to see a kid that went to your camp go on and achieve those goals?
Shoot, it would be unbelievable. I mean, just Brett and I were talking about it. Like hopefully when it's my time to kind of be done with the camp, I'd like to do it for a long, long time. Hopefully there's someone else that's from the area that's playing and would like to take it over. So that would be really special to have. Just become a generational experience.
That would be so cool. I also have to ask you, because I heard a few kids ask when you were signing stuff, can you sign it to Patrick Mahomes? How did that make you feel?
Yeah, there were some Chiefs fans there. You got to give them their flowers. They beat us. They won the Super Bowl. So, until next year, you got to just, hey, they're the big dog, and give them their respect because they definitely earned it and they deserve it.
Tell us a little bit about what that rivalry is like for you, because you got to experience it for the first time this past year.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. You got two best quarterbacks in the NFL. And that really, gets the fans involved, the media involved, all that stuff just gets, hyped up so much. And both those guys deserve it. They're both, incredible football players, the two best in the league, and just it's crazy. Our place is rocking when we play them at home. Their place is rocking when we play them at their place. It's really cool. I don't know. It's tough to describe because it's really a special time, and you're going to look back on it and think, holy smokes, that was like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, when we were growing up. So it's really, really cool to be a part of that.
Would you say that those were some of your favorite games to play in this past season? Do you have a favorite game that you played in?
Oh man, favorite game that I played in this year. Playing in Buffalo in the snow was really cool.
Was it?
We played really well. That was a lot of fun. Gosh, kind of once we started playing well, it was. I think of the Tennessee game where we went down there and beat them, and that was the second game in a row we strung together of our. We won like 12 straight or 10 straight, something like that. That one was cool because that one we built up a lot of momentum and kind of just kept running with that. Those are probably my two favorite that I can think of. Any Sunday night or Monday night game's fun. Mm-hmm. I always think about like when I was growing up watching Sunday and Monday night games, and you would see, like every single person would come up with a short video clip like Cordell Volson, North Dakota State. I just think of that, and that's really cool.
That's so awesome. When they asked you to record that, was that your moment? You're like, okay, I made it.
Hey, you haven't made it till you're standing in the Hall of Fame.
There you go. Love the mentality. Cordell, you're going from year 1 to year 2. Where are you hoping to see the biggest jump in your game?
Yeah, I just want to see myself play with a ton of confidence. I know that I can play in this league. I know that I can be a really good player, and just to cut it loose and play with confidence. I think that'll allow me to take a huge step. Be exactly certain of myself every single snap, and just be me.
Heading into these off-season workouts for year 2, is it a little bit easier to pick up because you've done it once before?
Definitely. You feel. You feel more confident, like not even just the playbook, the schemes, the terminology, all that stuff, but like when you're supposed to be places, how you're supposed to do things, what your routine is, who everyone is, all that stuff, I think is just kind of a weight taken off your shoulders, like, okay, I've been there, I've seen this, I can now just focus on playing football.
I was doing some research, and I saw that Orlando Brown Jr. was just giving you high praise, saying sky's the limit, future Hall of Famer. When you hear stuff like that from someone like him, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, he's an elite football player, you know, and he's played next to some elite players, you know. Yanda was with him early in his career in Baltimore, and then he played with Joe Tooney the last couple. You know, Marshall Yanda is going to be a Hall of Famer. Joe Tooney is going to be a Hall of Famer. You know, just to, I mean, know that he knows what it looks like, you know, but you know, potential and words don't mean a thing. You know, you got to go and apply it. And you know, I hope that I can prove him right, just like I proved myself right, you know.
We're showing video, and we just showed something of you taking snaps at center. Is that a new position you're trying to learn?
Chill out. Hey.
I'm serious. I saw it. We played it.
The best ability is availability.
There we go. Do you how is that going for you?
No, it was just, are you talking about from this past OTAs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, the centers were doing a drill and another guard needed a rep. So I was like, shoot, I'll just hop in there and play center. I'll snap it back there and had a good snap. And coach is like, all right, you keep snapping. You never know when you need one, because he's heard stories where, you know, like guys have had to be at their 7th, 8th center, you know, in camp just because of injuries. So
could you imagine?
I mean, yeah. I you know, I plan to just keep playing left guard, but if they need me, that's where I'll go.
Next man up mentality, right? You start learning that here at NDSU. I feel like you hear that all the time. What are you looking forward to the most? Is there a game that you have circled on the calendar? There's
17 games I got circled on the calendar. You know, I'm fired up. I can't wait to get back on the grass and you know, kind of take another step. You know, get you know, just continue to become a better football player and help our team win in any way possible.
Well, that's exciting, Cordell. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your morning to talk with me. It's always great hearing from you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on. We'll talk to you soon.
Of course. Cordell Volson, everyone. Always appreciate the time from him. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Dick Bremer will join us on the show. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra, KSFL, and Inform.com.
On our next show, it's a Tamron Hall show first. Hillary Clinton joins the Tam fam. She's here to talk with me about season 2 of her show Gutsy, where she talks to some of the world's boldest and bravest women. Then a New York Times article recently revealed that more single women are buying homes than single men. We meet the women who say it's creating a dating imbalance. On the next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m.
Experience the ultimate in energy-efficient comfort with insulated vinyl siding. Now get durable, maintenance-free siding with a transferable lifetime warranty from the local and experienced Window World team. For a limited time, your siding projects can qualify for special 0% financing for 36 months. Call today for your free estimate and have your new siding installed this summer.
Improving homes, changing lives.
Window World of Fargo.
While serving in Afghanistan, I was hit by sniper fire. The fighting was so intense, the medevac chopper was barely able to land. In the hospital, I was given a 5% chance to live. It's a good thing math wasn't my best subject. Today, I visit classrooms and share my story. I talk to kids about dealing with life's struggles. I tell them, with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
I know that some struggles are big and some are small, but they're all struggles, and you have to learn to get through them. With support from DAV, more veterans like me can live their best life. And as a new father, I have one more reason to keep on keeping on. My victory is being there for the next generation.
Adam Alexander, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Want to get out of just about anything? Use the environment excuse.
Dear housemates, due to the environmental impact of food waste, I'm eating all your leftovers. You're welcome.
Is that my shirt and pants and shoes?
I mean, I'm literally saving the environment.
Ooh, what's this about?
I'm just doing my part for the environment.
What did the sushi say to the bee? Wasabi!
Gotta love an open mic carpool.
Less cars, more jokes!
Is that Mima's punch bowl?
We use way too much plastic. Think of the planet.
Who is the best princess?
The environment is the best excuse. Find an out and opt in to save the Earth. Just scan this code.
We need each other. Now more than ever. Because every someone needs someone else. We need each other. Because when we work together, we can do so much more. Like connect more children with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. We need each other. Because when you make someone's world better, you make everyone's world better. Child Fund, because we need each other.
Welcome back, everyone. We just heard from former Bison and current Cincinnati Bengal Cordell Volson about what his camp was like and what the offseason's been like for him with the Bengals heading into year 2. Thought it was so funny that they liked him taking snaps at center. We see that a lot with the linemen nowadays. I remember when I was talking with Cody before he was drafted, he was kind of being placed everywhere. No matter where he went, they always had him at a different position. So he said, I'm pretty much ready to play wherever. And the most frustrating part for him during this past offseason was not knowing what position he was going to play. So he couldn't start training because he didn't know if he's going to play guard, tackle, center. He had no idea. But now he's with the Bucs and he's going to play guard. So that's exciting. But like he said, like Cordell said, next man up. We hear that all the time here at NDSU. Something you will continue to hear throughout the pros. So I'm excited to see what year 2 has in store with him. When you just look him up, just the amount of high praise he gets from all of the vets is incredible and really unsurprising when it comes to Cordell. We saw it here. His leadership, his character, the type of football player he is, just stand out all around. So no one more deserving than him. And I'm excited to see the jumps he's going to take from year 1 to year 2. I know in broadcasting, they always say you take your biggest jump from year 1 to year 2. And pretty sure that's the same in the NFL. So I'm excited to see. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what the heck is going on with the Twins. Because I know a lot of you are wondering and frustrated. So hopefully Dick Bremer can give us some answers. We'll be back with Hot Mike on WDAY Extra and Forum.com and KSFL right after this.
Who let the dogs out? Laney's has, and the 2-for-deal special is back. If your furnace and air conditioner are over 10 years old, it's possible they've gone to the dogs. They're more prone to roll over and break down, and they're also a lot less efficient. Let Laney's help you fetch a free air conditioner with their 2-for-deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a qualifying Coleman high-efficiency furnace, you will receive a Coleman air conditioning unit free. Call Laney's for details. The dog days of summer will be here before you know it.
828 is just great.
Our job as community journalists is, more important now than ever. Without news, the community is not informed of the facts. They might be informed on social media, but they're not informed with the facts. Because community journalism keeps our government honest. It keeps decision makers honest. covering our communities, covering the events going on in these towns. They're important, so yeah, my work's not done.
Send your weather-related photos or video to the WDAY Storm Tracker team. Contact weather@wday.com or share them with us on Facebook and Instagram. Keeping an eye on the sky. The WDAY Storm Tracker team.
Our motto has always been, we never leave anyone behind. The thing about philanthropy is you're always looking about what more you can do. But if you have ambition and you have heart and you want people to be saved and to have a better life, then you don't stop.
The Rocket Fund takes all of the work that we're doing all over the world for vulnerable communities and looks at the most effective ways to get resources to them, to get services to them.
But we haven't done it on our own. We've done it with collaboration, especially over the last few years, and that's the enjoyable part. Together, you have more impact.
We have been able to reach over 100 million people impacted and affected and at risk of HIV. We know how to get to these people, but we have to be consistent. What we mustn't do, and what the Rocket Fund is about, is we mustn't take our foot off the accelerator.
If we come together and love people and accept them for who they are, what they are, then the world would be so much better.
Time to Be Bold is helping people 55 and older with low vision regain your independence. Go to timetobebold.org for a list of services in your state that will give you the tools and support you need to live your bold best life. Go to timetobebold.org today.
After I lost my mom, I was depressed and resentful. I couldn't find my way, but I am not lost.
I should know. I work in behavioral health for youth advocate programs. YAP. I empower Blessing with tools so she can see her strengths and set positive goals.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. Made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
No, she's a good student and a great kid. As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her.
We need YAP. The youth and the communities, they need strong support systems. I try to help the youth understand if you have a change of mindset, you can have a change of action.
YAP gives communities alternatives to residential care, youth incarceration, and neighborhood violence. After completing our program, nearly 90% of participants remain in their community. YAP works.
And now I'm finding joy and excited about my future.
Youth Advocate Programs. Others talk social change. We make it happen.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
This is Hot Mike. Hot Mike. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
A drive to left field. He has done it again. And a leaping catch and a warning track. Got it. And the Twins complete the sweep.
It's Wednesday, which means Dick Bremer joins us now on the show. Dick, how are you?
We're doing fine. We're hoping to get a win here in Atlanta, and then we'll be flying to Baltimore, have an off day tomorrow, and then take on another really good team in the Baltimore Orioles this weekend.
A tough schedule for the Twins coming up. Yeah, tell us a little bit about how this series with the Braves is going. Luck is not on the Twins' side.
Well, the Twins have lost 2 games. They've seen firsthand what this Braves team is all about. They pitch well enough to win ball games with a very, very impressive lineup. For those of your viewers and listeners who saw the early part of the game last night, Joe Ryan gave up 5 home runs in the first 2 innings. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what they do. They've got a very powerful lineup, 1 through 9, a very productive lineup. And the Twins have had a tough time scoring runs generally through the first half of this season. But today we start the second half of the season. And if this team is going to stay in first place, Logan, they're going to have a much more consistent approach at the plate and a much more consistent production from the lineup, and we'll see if that starts in Game 3 of the series this afternoon.
Well, hopefully we see that, because now the Twins are only half a game ahead of Cleveland. I feel like week after week we talk about the hitting. What needs to change, Dick?
Well, you'd like to think that there'd be an aptitude to change what's going wrong. And if you want to find out what an ideal lineup looks like, all you have to do in this series is look in the other dugout. Now, they've got some extraordinary players. Acuna is one of the best players in the game today, might be the best player in the National League. They've got some balance in the lineup, power, they steal bases. So, you know, as we look for better production from this Twins lineup, it's going to be the veterans that are going to have to do it. The irony is, here we are at the midway point of the season, and the most productive hitters the Twins have in their lineup are their least experienced hitters, like Kirilloff, Lewis, and Julian. The veterans, Correa, Buxton, have been disappointing. Some of the other guys like Polanco have been hurt. So the potential is still there. It has been a profoundly disappointing first half for the lineup, and we'll see if they have better health in the second half. And some of the veterans, oddly, need to have a better approach at the plate. They're striking out way too much. They're on a pace to set the record for strikeouts by a team in a season, and that just doesn't work. You've got to be able to put the ball in play better than this Twins lineup has in the first half.
I was doing some research, and I saw that Royce Lewis changed his approach at the plate. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, he kind of did what I just talked about. He decided that he felt he was striking out too much, decided he was going to put the ball in play, and maybe sacrifice some power along the way. And what we saw in his first game was he got 3 hits, got a booming double to left field in the ball game last night. That's, I think, what the Twins need to do. When you strike out as often as they did in the first half, it's hard to string hits together to put a big inning together unless somebody happens to hit a home run with men on base. And the Twins are doing okay in the home run department. They're on a pace to hit over 200 this year, but too many of them have been with the bases empty. Joey Gallo's got a couple of home runs on this road trip, but they've both been solo home runs because the guys in front of him weren't getting on base. And that's another thing that needs to change. You need to be able to pick your spots, I think, to try to hit a home run and hopefully get a few of them with men on base.
Getting on base is key number 1, I would have to say. We talk about the offense. Let's go to the pitching and the bullpen, which is quickly becoming very depleted for the Twins with injuries. Can you dive into some of these players that have gone on the injury list and what their injuries are?
Well, the Twins have won 2 games, lost 3 on this road trip, but they've lost 2 relievers. Jose De Leon, who was doing a really good job in his role in the Twins bullpen, is going to need his second Tommy John surgery. The big blow came yesterday when we found out that Brock Stewart was going on the injured list, and he has been invaluable. He did not start the season with the team, but he very quickly ascended to a very important part of the Twins bullpen as kind of a late inning guy, setup guy for Joan Duran. And now the Twins are going to be without him at least for a couple of weeks. They hope it's just tendonitis and nothing more structural in nature. They're going to need him to be healthy in the second half if they're going to stay in first place. But in the interim, other guys are just going to have to assume a larger role and hopefully be more reliable than they have been in the past. Meaning Giovanni Moran, Jordan Balasovic, who only has a couple of appearances in the big leagues. He may be asked to step up and fill a more important role late in games. So we'll see how it all plays out. But the Twins aren't the only team dealing with injuries. Just yesterday, the Tigers lost 2 of their pitchers due to injury, one of them to Tommy John. It's a problem throughout the game of baseball, but it hit the Twins hard, big time on this road trip.
I want to go back to Jose De Leon. Like you said, second time having to undergo Tommy John surgery. How tough is it to not only come back from that once, but twice, just mentally and physically?
Yeah, and I've talked with Chris Paddock, who's with the Twins, although he's been on the injured list. He had Tommy John surgery a little over a year ago, his second one. And he said on the one hand, it is easier because you know what the rehab is like, having gone through it before, but it's frustrating because it's tedious, monotonous. These guys, whether they're position players who are hurt, pitchers who have Tommy John or some other ailment, they want to compete. That's what they train for. Baseball players now train all year round for the baseball season. So as frustrated as we are as fans that these guys keep getting hurt, the players themselves are really, really disappointed because they work out 12 months out of the year to be on the field down there. And when you can't do that, it's really, really frustrating for them. So the Twins are hoping that Paddock might be able to help them in September. And the biggest hope is that no one else on this pitching staff suffers a serious injury.
Right. And no teams at this point can afford that. Like you said, Brock Stewart was just moved on the injury list. How big of a loss is that for the Twins in the bullpen?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I think the Twins were very pleasantly surprised to find that he was healthy, was able to get some big, big outs and some big, big strikeouts late in games. They'll have to be without him. He went back to the Twin Cities for more imaging, meaning an MRI, I suppose. We might get word as to what the results of the MRI were today. To my knowledge, no one has found out yet today what the results were or are. But again, the hope is that after the All-Star break, he'll be ready to go.
Who is expected to step up, in your opinion, Dick, in the bullpen?
Well, the existing arms out there, I would imagine Twins fans might not want to hear this, but Emilio Pagan might be a key guy for them because he's a veteran guy. He's pitched late in games, not as successfully as Twins fans would like, but the options are pretty slim. They really miss Caleb Thielbar, their most reliable left-handed pitcher. He's on the shelf with his reoccurrence of an oblique injury. He's on his way back, but I doubt that we'll see him before the All-Star break. So they're going to have to cross their fingers, any other body parts that can be crossed in the hopes that they can, fight through this stretch right now before the All-Star break and pick up a few wins and stay in first place.
How important is it for the Twins to establish a bigger lead in the division before the All-Star break?
Well, they've got no one but themselves to blame for where they're at. They are below the 500 mark, just a half game above Cleveland. Right after the Twins lost their game last night, the Guardians got a big 2-run double in the ninth inning. They were almost shut out by Kansas City last night. I think what we have found is that everybody in the division has some warts that they're dealing with. Mm-hmm. For the Twins, it's the lineup that's been not nearly as productive as we expected it would be. Cleveland's got problems, and I suspect it'll be the team that figures out and solves its internal problems quicker is the team that's going to take control of the division. What you don't want, if you're a Twins fan, is a repeat of what happened last year, where the Twins were hanging on to first place and it slowly, the lead eroded, and Cleveland ended up winning handily in September. So there is some urgency to the way the Twins are playing right now and needing to correct some of the flaws. And again, today is the start of the second half, game number 82 of the season, and we'll see if we start seeing some results of the concern that the team has about its shortcomings in the first half.
I saw last night Rocco Baldelli describing the offense for the Twins as hit or miss. What do we need to see to make it more consistent?
Yeah, it sounds trite. More hits and less misses, because that's been the frustrating thing. This team hits home runs, but it strikes out at a frightening rate, on a pace to set the major league record for strikeouts in a season. So it goes back to what I said at the outset. This team needs to make more consistent contact. When you strike out, I mean, my goodness, we've had 4 games where the team has struck out 16 times, and it's not against the likes of Nolan Ryan or people like that. Way too many strikeouts. You have players who have a history of striking out a lot, like Joey Gallo. So you're getting pretty much what you should have expected from him with the high number of strikeouts. But Carlos Correa's strikeout numbers are way up. Byron Buxton's strikeout numbers are way up. And that needs to be corrected. All you're asking, if you're a Twins fan, or if you're the owner who's paying these veterans a lot of money, all you're asking is hit the way you have hit. You have proven that you can hit in the big leagues. Correa is a perfect example. A 279 career hitter, and he's hitting, 212 or whatever it is now. That's not going to work in the second half. This team will not stay in first place in its division unless some of the veterans do a better job.
In your years covering the Twins, how often have you seen them make a turnaround in the second half of this season?
Well, often, and the best example was the 2003 season, I believe it was, where the Twins at the All-Star break, just after the midway point of the season in terms of games played, they acquired Shannon Stewart, who instantly transformed the Twins lineup, leading off, setting an example for the Torrey Hunters of the world, how to have a good at-bat. The at-bats improved immediately after that, and I don't know whether the Twins are going to be finding or trying to find somebody who can have that kind of a transformative effect on the lineup. I don't know that there are many players, if any, out there who can do that, but it worked with Shannon Stewart in 2003, and that's kind of what the Twins need. I suspect that, they'll maybe look to some of the younger guys like, Royce Lewis, instead of acquiring a player and saying, you know what, this kid's pretty good, let's follow his lead. But, it's tough for veterans to admit that they are kind of on the wrong track and need to step up. But I think if this is going to happen, if this team is going to stay in first place, as they've been almost all year long, the veterans are going to have to internally, and this team internally is going to have to figure some things out.
I think I could speak for all Twins fans. I think you got to get down there and start talking to them, Dick.
Yeah,
the veterans.
They're well aware of my 261 average in high school. I don't think I'm the one to be talking about how to hit. But, if all they have to do is look at the stat line and the analytics, how deep you want to go into them, it hasn't been working. Mm-hmm. And the biggest disappointment has been Carlos Correa, and he admitted as much after the ball game last night. So they are aware of what the issue is. The question is, how do you go about fixing it, and how immediately can you fix it? These things tend to go in waves, where if you get a couple of good games going, it can go just as quickly the other way. It's just this has kind of been a prolonged situation for months now, and now we're into the second half of the season, so it needs to change.
It definitely needs to change, and hopefully things will turn around tonight. We're going to take a quick break. Dick's going to stick around, and we'll talk more Twins right after this. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and Forum.com and KSFL.
I'm nervous sitting right here doing a TV show. Yes, and it's okay.
Start your engines for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's hitting the gas on a children's book and cooking.
It's very much like getting a race car ready to go to the racetrack.
Then, a speedy way to stuffed cake with Chef Millie Peartree.
It's so clever.
Plus, a turbocharged tray bake.
People love these because it's easy cleanup.
Mixed Rachel.
Weekdays at 3 on WDAY.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
My name is Jamie Bowles, and I was diagnosed with non-small cell lung cancer in December of 2018. I like to walk down the street and think nobody would even know looking at me that I have stage 4 lung cancer. And I'm grateful for biomarker testing for that. When I was sitting down with my oncologist, there was already state-of-the-art medication available that I was going to be put on right then and there. Ask your doctor how comprehensive biomarker testing before treatment may help you decide on the best treatment. Visit noonemissed.org to learn more.
For more than 30 years, I've lived with Graves' disease, the most common form of hyperthyroidism. All this time, I never knew I was also living with thyroid eye disease, or TED, a separate but related autoimmune disease that requires separate care. For years, I thought my eye symptoms, bulging, redness, pain, were part of my Graves' disease. But I recently learned that many people with Graves' disease may develop TED. That's why I'm telling you now, whether you've been living with Graves' disease for a long time like me, or were recently diagnosed, it's not too late to learn about TED. At the first signs of any changes in your eye symptoms, make an appointment with a TED eye specialist and request a comprehensive eye exam. My goal is to get you the care you need fast.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Food can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Hi, I'm Susan Lucci. I never thought about heart disease until I had my own heart event. I had a 90% blockage in my main artery and a 75% blockage in the adjacent artery. I received 2 stents in my arteries, stents developed through research funded by the American Heart Association. Those stents saved my life. Learn more about the American Heart Association's life-saving work at helpheart.org.
Welcome back, everyone. Second half of the sweet season getting started for the Twins. It's Wednesday, which means Dick Bremer joins us. Dick, we were just talking. This is your first time at Truist Park in Atlanta. What are your thoughts?
It's a beautiful ballpark, and the 2 games were sold out here last night and the night before. We've got a very high broadcast position, which I'm not a big fan of, but again, reminds us how lucky we are to be at Target Field, where we're pretty much right on top of home plate, or very close to it. It's a beautiful ballpark, and I mentioned it on the telecast last night. This is the 52nd Major League Park that I broadcast games from. So it's interesting over the years, Logan, to have seen how much of an upgrade these ballparks have been. We're going to go to Baltimore. What a great upgrade it was to go to Camden Yards from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. And it's great for the fans. That's the main thing. Rather than having ballparks that were also football stadiums, these are baseball parks now. They were built to play baseball in. And you might have a concert, you might have a football game occasionally, as they do at Target Field.
Right.
But everything is built for the fans, and that makes the viewing experience really, really nice.
Where is your absolute favorite stadium to broadcast from?
Well, it is Target Field, and I say that as objectively as I can because our broadcast position is tremendous. But I was not a fan of the Metrodome. I didn't care for it. As a broadcaster or a fan, there were 3 or 4 occasions where that ballpark, if I can use that phrase, almost resulted in the loss of our franchise because it really was built for the Vikings, not the Twins. The financial setup that the Twins had to get into that place in the early 80s favored the Vikings, not the Twins. So my favorite is Target Field, but there are so many great ones. We haven't been to Safeco, whatever, AT&T Field, a park, I think they call it now in Seattle. The one in Baltimore is really an important one because it was the first retro-style ballpark that was built more than 30 years ago now. And that set the trend for Target Field and so many of the others. So we'll always look forward to going to Baltimore.
Which is coming up soon. What will be key for the Twins as they continue this road trip?
Well, they need to get starting pitching, which hasn't been a problem. Kenta Maeda is going to start today. They need to patch that hole in the bullpen with Brock Stewart being out. But the big thing, as was the case in the first half, if they've had 30 games, the Twins have in the first 81 where they've scored 2 runs or less, and that's way, way too many. So they need to find a way to be more productive up and down the lineup, and that's not true just today or in Baltimore this weekend. That'll need to be the case for the second half.
Like we said, the second half of the season starts today. Is there a series or a list of games that you have circled on this calendar for the Twins?
Well, I did in the first half. I thought the last homestand when the Twins had 10 games would be the key point to the season. In the first half, the Twins went just 5-5 in that homestand, so that was disappointing. The way it looks now, it'll be the Twins and the Guardians. The Tigers are still 10 games below 500. The White Sox, I think, are 13 now. So for the time being, at least, it'll be the Guardians and Twins. So those head-to-head matchups, there's one series left in Cleveland, one series left at Target Field. Those will be very, very important games. And so we'll see how that, where the standings, what they look like when we get to those two series later on in the second half.
We talk about how there's a homestand coming up for the Twins, and right after that is the All-Star break. Who are you thinking the Twins should send to the All-Star game?
Well, I was speculating the other day with some friends. This is the first time I can remember where there's not a position player who should even be considered as an all-star, because the numbers for the Correas and Buxtons are all down. But the Twins have several pitchers that should be considered. Joe Ryan, even though he had a tough night last night, I think is an all-star. Sonny Gray should make the all-star team. Joan Duran should be able to find his way into the bullpen for the American League in the all-star game. And, you know, so I would like to think that those three guys, those three pitchers would and could represent the Twins in the all-star game. But it is odd. This is a franchise going back to 1961 that's always been known for its great hitters. Killebrew, Carew, Oliva, going back to those guys, but there really isn't one right now that you could say, hey, this guy belongs on the All-Star team.
As a broadcaster and for the fans out there, is that a little bit of a red flag for the rest of the season, just thinking you don't have any All-Star hitters on your team?
Well, you know, that's why the Twins are below 500 right now, right? And that's why the lead in the division's only a half game. To me, this team should be 8 to 10 games in first place right now because, you know, they've got some hitters who have proven to be very productive hitters in the lineup, and they're not producing. And so that the Twins are in a division race right now with no one even at 500. It's because of the hitters, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but that needs to change. Things need to get better. And because the lead is just a half game, it needs to get better in a hurry.
Definitely. And hopefully, like we've been saying before the All-Star break, they'll be able to establish a little bit of a lead. Next week, and before we see you again, is July 4th, and the Twins have a game. Do you enjoy calling games on the 4th of July?
Yeah, I do, and all the holidays, and I've, you know, told people, my family members, that, you know, for me, there are no holidays. It's another work day, and that's a good thing. I mean, I enjoy coming to the ballpark, even on a holiday. Others might be out on a lake or swimming or, you know, barbecuing, whatever. But I've long ago come to the conclusion that my place on a holiday or a birthday or something like that, my place is at the ballpark. So we'll look forward to being at the ballpark at Target Field on the 4th of July. The Twins have a series with Kansas City, and then the following weekend we get the Orioles again. So no sacrifice on my end getting to work, not having to work, but getting to work on a holiday, because I just think that that's my place. That's where I should be, even on the 4th of July.
Doesn't get more American than being at a ballpark on the 4th of July. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yep. And I have fond memories as a fan. Years ago, I was in college, and Twins had a doubleheader on the 4th of July, and I went to it. And Rod Carew hit a walk-off grand slam in the second game, and so that's my favorite 4th of July memory as a fan.
As a broadcaster, do you have a favorite 4th of July memory?
As a broadcaster, none stand out. You know, it's just, I guess maybe in New York we had a day game against the Yankees, and my family went out and we saw a magnificent 4th of July fireworks show over the Hudson River.
That's awesome.
In New York, and that was memorable because of the magnitude of the show. Everything in New York is bigger than it is in Minneapolis, so that was memorable, I guess. But just to be able to help bring a baseball telecast to the baseball fans on a holiday, that's special enough.
Does Target Field do anything fun for the 4th of July?
They have in the past had fireworks shows, I know. But this will be a day game, and there won't be any fireworks shows or special promotions, things like that. But if they have anything beyond that, I'm not aware of it.
All right. Well, that's exciting. Like I said, I want to get to more Twins games. Maybe I have the 4th off. Maybe I'll have to make a trip up there because they won last time I was there. So maybe I should make the 3-hour drive.
Yeah, if you're going to bring wins, please come as often as you can.
Oh, I for sure will. Dick, they're closing out their series with the Braves tonight. Give us 3 keys to the game.
Well, Kenta Maeda is the starter, and he needs to find a way to control this Atlanta lineup that is very, very potent. The Twins have actually done a decent job of that, even though the Braves hit the 5 home runs last night. They've held this Braves team to 10 runs scored in the first 2 games, and that's below their average over their great streak over the last 3 weeks or so. So Maeda needs to be able to put some zeros up early on. We'll see how this different Twins lineup that we will have can do. They're trying to find some sort of a lineup that will click. Correa's not in the lineup today, so we'll see if they can produce some runs, and then you hope to get the game to Duran at the end, because right now he might be the strength of this Twins team.
Hopefully they can pull off a win tonight, Dick. I really appreciate you giving us some of your time before the game today.
All right. We'll hope for a win today and a good weekend in Baltimore.
Hopefully. Dick, thank you. Good luck on the call today.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Always a pleasure hearing from Dick Bremer. That game starts today at 11:20. You can catch that on Bally Sports North. Of course, the news that everyone is wondering is what's going to happen on July 1st. That is when Bally is supposed to pay the Twins. Whether it happens or not, we don't know. Dick said he doesn't know. So July 1st, we'll just have to wait and see what happens on Monday. We will have plenty to talk about when it comes to that. I did ask him, and he said that he has no idea what's going to happen. So hopefully a payment will be made. We'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, Twins closing out their series with the Braves today at 11:20. You can catch that on Bally Sports North. Second half of the season begins. Hopefully the Twins can turn it around. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll meet one of the newest faces for NDSU football class of 2024. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra, Forum.com, and KSFL.
On our next show, it's a Tamron Hall show first. Hillary Clinton joins the Tam fam. She's here to talk with me about season 2 of her show Gutsy, where she talks to some of the world's boldest and bravest women. Then a New York Times article recently revealed that more single women are buying homes than single men. We meet the women who say it's creating a dating imbalance. On the next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m.
Our job as community journalists is, more important now than ever. Without news, the community is not informed of the facts. They might be informed on social media, but they're not informed with the facts, because community journalism keeps our government honest. It keeps decision makers honest. Covering our communities, covering the events going on in these towns, they're important. So, yeah, my work's not done.
One more time before you wake up in the wild. In your eyes, I see a flower slowly dying.
Together with the Nature Conservancy, you have the power to make a difference. For unspoiled nature, for beautiful wildlife, and for people everywhere. Together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive.
Oh, in the wild, you're gonna make it. The moonlight is here to take you.
Our natural world needs us now. Every day, we lose more lands, waters, and the wild species that depend on them. To learn more, visit nature.org today.
Welcome back, everyone. Things are starting to clear up outside. Hopefully, will shape up to be a nice Wednesday for everyone. NDSU class of 2024 is continuing to grow and grow. Yesterday, they picked up their 10th verbal commit, and it's from a familiar family for NDSU. Taylen Eady has committed to NDSU football. He's a defensive back from Williamsburg, Virginia. Long ways from here, but this is a place that he's been to several times, and that's because his brother Tyree Eady used to play for NDSU men's basketball. He had played a huge part in NDSU basketball recent teams. He helped lead the Bison to 2 NCAA tournaments. He also transferred this past year to North Texas, where they won the men's NIT tournament. So a successful family, and Taylen's hoping to continue that success for the Eady family here at NDSU. Dom Izzo was able to catch up with him yesterday before he left for vacation. Take a listen.
How many times did you come up to see Tyree?
Too many. It feel like that was like my second home. I mean, I always went to the games, and the graduation, I took another visit there, and that made a big impact on me. So I know I went up there for a junior day, and then that's when I got the offer. So I came back for a camp, and then yeah.
When you were up here, did you ever visualize, you know what, I could come to school here. I like it. Did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah. So before I went there, I already had an idea in mind that I could play over there. And, that really sealed the deal, spending a weekend, seeing how the coaches coached, and, even talking to some of the players made me feel like I could just come on this team and be a part of a family. So.
Describe the recruiting process. You had a bunch of offers. I mean, just describe how this has gone, and what beyond the familiarity of Fargo, what sold you on NDSU?
The recruiting process really picked up after I got the North Dakota offer. That was my first one. It was the first school to really trust me, and that really put a big impact on me. Before I even had any offers, I was like, first school that offers me, is always gonna have a place in my heart. And I would say the program, like the history of the program, how they win. I like winning. I mean, everyone loves winning. So, that was a big part. And then, the fans and, the area, they love football over there. And I want to play in front of a good group and a good fan base.
Did you ever get a football game? I know you went to plenty of basketball games up here. Did you ever get to see football up here?
Well, when my brother was getting recruited, he had a football game that he went to, and I wasn't able to go because I had a basketball tournament when I thought I was a basketball player, and then so I never really got to go. But I've seen a bunch of videos, and I heard it's crazy, so I'm excited. I'm gonna hopefully catch one this fall. So
Tell me about that dynamic of when did football become your sport? How long ago was that? Like, okay, this is where I'm going to go with.
I would say my freshman or 8th grade going into my freshman year of high school. So I was big with hockey and basketball, and then I moved here. There was no hockey teams in Virginia. It's an hour away to make it to a practice. So I was like, let me find something I could do in my backyard or something. So I was always good at football. I played running back because I was bigger. So, and then I worked out every day and decided to take that serious.
What position you play in hockey?
Hockey, I was a left defender.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Did you play hockey for like your entire life?
Yeah, I started playing when I was like, I'll say 5, 6 years old.
No
I went to one of my friends' games and I was like, yo, this looks fun. So, yeah.
When's the last time you put skates on?
My 8th grade state games. That's when I hung it up. I was like, I'm done, sadly. But I still pick up the stick here and there, act like I still got it, but I'm done now.
When did Division I football become a reality to you? Was it a practice, a coach talking to you? When did you say, okay, I'm good enough that Division I is an option?
I would say when I got here, I was competing with a lot of guys that already had offers, and I was like, I think I could do this. And, I had a lot of coaches and friends believe in me. And that really motivated me to keep on working hard and, start getting bigger, faster, really working on my technique. And that's when I was really like, I can maybe make it to the next level.
What is high school football like in Virginia? I've heard stories. What is it like there?
Oh, it's competitive. I mean, it's very competitive, fast. It's a fast game. You got really fast receivers over here. You got really strong running backs and really strong linemen. But, I think that helped me get better. I think that really set me up to play at the next level. So
when you called Coach Entz, what was his reaction when you told him you were committing?
Well, he texted me before and he's like, we need to talk tonight. Cause it was, I think the time was running down. I think he was like, we need to get this done. So, I called him and I told him, and he was excited. It sounded like he was smiling ear to ear. Whole coaching staff texted me after, and I know felt like I was wanted. And that's why I chose that school. So,
what's the reaction been now in the 10, 12 hours since it? Relief, excitement, both? What's the emotion for you?
It's a relief because recruiting process is pretty stressful. All these coaches try to tell you why their school was the best and everything. So it was good to like really settle down with one, and then excitement because it's a dream come true to play at the next level, and especially a school that my brother went to, which is pretty awesome. I don't know many people that can say their brother and then went to the same school, and so I think it's been a mix of emotions.
When you told Tyree, what was his reaction?
Oh, he was like, you're going to be the second best Bison in the house. And I was like, yeah, we're going to have to switch that up. I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to take that number 1 spot. So
you saw it, but what did he tell you about his experience here? Obviously he had a great experience here. I think the fans certainly respected what he did on and off the court. What did he tell you about his time in Fargo?
He said he enjoyed it, It like helped him learn a lot, like even not playing basketball, just being in the area, helping out, I think all the programs over there have a good intention in mind with just helping out in the community. And, that's a big thing. And, we had a serious talk about, North Dakota and all that. And I think that also helped my decision to go there. And I was like, they're doing something right over there. So
how much with him being as out front as he was with what he did with the shirts that he and Coach Richmond did, how much did that help you for this decision that Tyree was comfortable being here?
Oh, that helped a lot, because like I said, I'm going to be super far now that we live over here. So it's, I have, like I said, we know a lot of people over there. My brother was able to make an impact over there. And, that makes me feel right or safe over there. So.
What position did they tell you they're looking at you for?
I had 2. So I was receiver and a safety. And, they said I could play both, but, Coach Entz is a defense guy. So, they're putting me at safety first. I know the offensive guys are pretty mad about it and everything, but I have to play safety, field safety guy. So,
what about you? What would you prefer?
Oh, I mean, I just want to get out there, but I'm okay with playing safety. Get to come down and make a hit or get a big interception. I like making people not able to score. So,
last thing before I let you go, bud, just what was most eye-opening thing about this whole process? I mean, the offers I know came pretty fast and furious, like you mentioned, after the Bison came in. What was it? Did it get overwhelming at times?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you get a call or you get a text from a school that you never even heard of, or like you never even knew they was looking at you, and it's just like, dang, they want to offer me. And I mean, I would say, is what I'm blessed to be in that situation to have all that, and it was overwhelming. But like I said, the more offers that came in, started dwindling the list down. You already know where you're gonna kind of go when you start getting them. So I kind of stuck with that and, continued the communication and made the decision.
Was it important to get it done before your senior year? I know they wanted you to make a decision, but for yourself, did you want it done now?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it was good to go in the season knowing I have a place to call home after football or after the season and after the year. And, I didn't want to waste no time to be North Dakota, and lose my spot or anything like that. So, I really made the right decision to choose it before the season.
So exciting for the Eady family. Taylen, he had an amazing junior year. 13 receiving touchdowns at wide receiver, also 4 interceptions and a fumble recovery at safety. He just told us they want him to play safety, but he could play both. But safety is where they're thinking he's going to play. He also had offers from FBS programs like Air Force, ODU. So it's pretty cool and pretty incredible that he picked NDSU over those schools. ODU is right in his backyard. So to come to NDSU, which is halfway across the country, just shows how much this program has impacted his family and how much this program stands out amongst other FBS programs. And then we could dive into the FBS and NDSU moving up conversation, but we'll save that for another day because I know we talked about that way too much, but we'll save that for another day. Switching gears to UND, though, they just got another commit from a local school, Grand Forks Central. Trey Kuntz has committed to UND. He played tight end and defensive end for Grand Forks Central. So that class is continuing to build, too. I think they might have 3 or 4 commits now. We'll get our first glimpse of 2023 coming up soon. I cannot believe it's almost July. And then August will be here before we know it. Fall camps will start. Then we're going to hit the ground running with football season. Pretty crazy. All right, we're going to take our last break. When we come back, we'll get the show all wrapped up and we'll get you guys on your way. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra, Inform.com, and KSFL.
Stay prepared for the days and nights ahead with the best weather team. Download the Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Get alerts and updates straight from the WDAY Storm Tracker team with accurate weather reports specific to your area. Just search WDAY in the Apple or Google Play Store. Download the Storm Tracker app and be ready to plan your day. The Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Download it today.
I feel like I was born the age I am.
An old soul?
I wouldn't say an old soul. I would say I was born a middle-aged soul.
Next live, move over, Mark. Ryan Seacrest joins Kelly as a guest host with Kristen Chenoweth.
Hi. You are everybody's little cutie. You are my little cutie.
Plus, Emma Roberts and Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Sarah, you've got this, okay?
You can be amazing, you can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast, to be the back
But they lost.
Not really. Not where it counts.
What is lost when a home is denied? When equality is cast aside just because the family doesn't look like you or cook like you? Or because they identify as LGBTQ? Maybe it's because of how they talk or how they walk. It's not fair. It's not their place to reject you because of your race or the obstacles you face. Make you struggle to find a lender because of your gender? Housing discrimination has no place in our nation.
Equal access and equal opportunity are core American values. Don't let housing discrimination stop you. If you believe you've been denied a home because of your race, color, religion, national origin, familial status, disability, or sex, including gender identity and sexual orientation, go to HUD.gov/fairhousing to file a complaint.
Sometimes we hope a problem will just go away.
Something's up with Becca.
Oh, I think she's just being a teen.
Or we look for all the reasons it will be okay.
Do you know she got into a fight in class? She's never been in a fight before in her life.
I'm sure she didn't start it.
But some things need attention before reaching the breaking point.
She's locked in the bathroom and won't come out. Becca!
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 Open the door!
Becca!
Open the...
You don't have to face these problems alone. Visit boystown.org/parenting for valuable guides, downloadable parenting tools, and expert advice. If you need immediate help, call the trained counselors at the Boys Town National Hotline.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. I love you.
For any age, any stage. Boys Town.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you all are having a great start to your Wednesday morning. Can I just talk about this bomb that my sister just dropped on my family? Okay, so they all thought it was out of left field when I moved to North Dakota. My sister, of course, I'm one of 4, by the way. So I have an older brother and 2 younger sisters. There's lots of Campbells running around. And my sister had to one-up me, and she decided to move to Alaska, which is already crazy enough. But then she took it a step further and decided to live on a boat in Alaska as soon as she graduated from college. Okay, so that's crazy. Her 1 year being there is coming up. Her contract is up with her job. She's a marine biologist, so it makes sense. It wasn't like she was just like, oh, I'm just going to go and do this. She's a marine biologist. She just texted our family group chat and says, just so everyone knows my plans, we have a family vacation coming up next week. I'm leaving the beach on the 20th, and then I'm going to London, then Switzerland, then Spain for 6 weeks. Like, what? First of all, good for her for having the money to be able to travel like that. And having the money to be in Switzerland for who knows how long. Because Switzerland is expensive. I've been there before. The cheapest thing at McDonald's was like $25. That's just crazy. Anyways, it's a beautiful country, so I'm excited for her. And while she's in Spain, she's taking a deep sea scuba diving class, and she's hoping to get a job there after. Good for her, I guess. She's just like so adventurous, which I love about her. But man, is that random. She's actually going to come on tomorrow, and I'm so excited for this. You guys will be able to see how we interact with each other. And she's just going to tell a little bit about what her journey is like, because it's so different from literally anyone I know. So she'll be on the show tomorrow. She'll join us live from Seattle, which is nice that she's getting up early to do that. Some sports news though that came out. Oh my gosh. Guys, I can never talk at the end of the show. Anyways, some sports news that came out from ESPN is that the ACC and the SEC are doing a men's and women's basketball challenge. We've seen a few of these come out this year. The Summit League and the Big Sky are doing them. Now the ACC and SEC are doing them. So it starts Tuesday, November 28th. We'll go through Thursday, November 30th. I'm pumped for this. I am pumped. ACC are the teams that I grew up watching. I personally am the most excited for this on the women's side, honestly, with UNC in South Carolina. I think that that's going to be a really, really fun game. I think it's going to be a super competitive game. So I'm very excited for that one. On the men's side, so I'm a UNC girl. You're either Duke or UNC. I don't know if that's the case here, but on the East Coast, that's how it is. Love UNC. They're my favorite college basketball team. But the one, I guess the one with Tennessee is exciting. It doesn't get me like jazzed up, I guess would be the term to say. I think, yeah, maybe that's the one I'm the most excited for. Yeah. Well, UNC is just not very good, though. What are you guys the most excited to see? Alabama, Clemson, maybe? I don't know. Not Duke. Not Duke at all. Oh, actually, on the women's side, Virginia Tech, LSU, going to be absolutely electric. I love Kenny Brooks. He's the Virginia Tech head coach. LSU has a fire team coming next year. I don't know if you guys watched them during the NCAA tournament, the women's tournament. That's going to be actually the game that I'm the most excited to watch. 9 p.m. Thursday, November 30th. Mark your calendars. But here's what's to watch tonight. All right, we're getting the sports started right away. 11:20 is the Twins and Braves final game of the series. Like Dick said, second half of the season begins today. Hopefully the Twins can turn it around and create some separation before the All-Star break, which is next week. Crazy. The NHL draft is tonight. Starts at 6 p.m. The Wild pick 21st overall. There's a few local kids that are expected to go in the second, third, and fourth round. Some UND prospects that are hoping to hear their names get called. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. First round starts tonight. We'll go through tomorrow. And then the Gold Cup time is here. You guys know I love my soccer. St. Kitts, USA. What time was that at? 6, 8? Exciting stuff happening tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this Wednesday morning. Hope you enjoyed Hot Mic on WDAY Extra, KSFL, and Forum.com.
Send your weather-related photos or video to the WDAY Storm Tracker team. Contact weather@WDAY.com or share them with us on Facebook and Instagram. Keeping an eye on the sky. The WDAY Storm Tracker team.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, ride your bike.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, smile big and bright.
Thousands of kids just like me are happy every day.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is able to make an everyday miracle happen for kids like me.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, take a shot.
Because of you,
we are happy and we know it. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Please, Go to lushrunners.org right away.
Together, we are all healthier when everyone is vaccinated. Let's get together. Let's thrive together. Talk with your pediatrician today about COVID-19 vaccination. This message is brought to you by the American Academy of Pediatrics.
Hi, I'm Shaka Khan, and I feel for you and your health. Black Americans are at a higher risk for diabetes, but we're less likely to get the latest technology to manage this dangerous disease. It's called CGM, Continuous Glucose Monitoring. Instead of a painful finger stick to check your blood sugar, you wear a small device that can give you glucose readings at any time. If you have diabetes, find out if CGM is right for you.